All right, so in the last video, we went over the edit face tool here. Today we're going to take that another step further and go into the form tool. So I'm going to go here, or no, I'm just going to go over here to form, and here we go. So here I can create new shapes, and it'll be like that edit face, but on all the faces. So kind of the first one is create a box, create a box. We have it here. Again, we can add the number of faces by changing that number, or by grabbing these little boxes here and expanding it to add more or less faces along as we go. We can tell symmetry. And you can pick any of the three. If you have an even or an odd number of faces, it'll kind of use that middle face as what it's doing for that. So if I want it, I do that. Now I have an edge in the middle, and I can tell down here, do I want it to be a new body or a new component with a new body inside of that? So I'm only going to do that one. And then direction, do I want it to go up and down or just one side? That's fine. Say okay. There we go. And now we'll go in, we'll go to modify, and we'll go to edit form, just kind of like we did before. Now I can grab an edge, but now you can see it's editing the entire object as I do this. If I hold Alt and pull, it'll do an extrude. So it'll kind of pull that face back out. But on symmetry, it did that face and then it did it again over there. If I wanted both these to go out together, I need to hold Control, pick those, go back to edit form. Now I can hold Alt and pull them out, and they come out as one thing. So you want to kind of watch how you do that. And you can do that again up here. I can grab there, pick those two again, hold Alt, pull it out again, and now it adds another segment in there. I can hold Alt again, pull it out, and get another segment. Hold Alt, pull it out again, get another segment. Now maybe I want this to be a hammer, so I want to move these in a little bit. I can kind of pull it in like that, whatever. Then maybe I pick this edge here, and I'm just gonna pull that in. And maybe I just want this to be kind of squared off and flat at the end. So in that case, I'm just going to exit this. I'm going to modify. I'm going to go to crease. I'm going to pick those edges. Say OK. And now there's those edges. Because I'd moved that one in, it had done that. So if I go back to edit form, I can pull that back out. Now it can be flat on the bottom. Okay. So if I want a little bit more rounded, maybe I pick these edges here and these edges here, and then I use the scale to scale those up a little bit. So now it's kind of editing, I'm editing that shape how I want it to be done. Okay. There's also other things here like uncrease. If I decide no, I don't want to crease too many more, I can do that. I can do beveled edges. Now it'll add in that bevel there. So I'm going to do a chamfer and then re-smooth everything. Maybe I want this one not to be crease more, so now I can uncrease that. So now it's a smooth edge there. There's the slide edge, so if you want to just kind of slide where an edge is, you can do that. Sometimes you want to smooth things out, so maybe it's gotten a little weird in here, so I can go to smooth. So I can pick those faces and I can adjust how smooth I want those to be. So this tool's changed a little bit since the last time I used it. So yeah, I just held control and I added some more faces in. I can say, okay, maybe I want to do those two now. So smooth those two faces. I'm just going to bring it in a little bit, making it a little bit smoother in that face. So there's those. So this one will use it if you already have another face or surface, and so we'll get into surfaces later. We also have flatten, so if you want to flatten things, you can just pick, this is kind of like smooth. If you pick the vertexes, it's going to try and take those vertexes that you pick and flatten them out. And you have fit, you can do a select plane and pick a plane, or you can do a parallel plane. So I could say select parallel plane, and now I can pick that plane. Now it's going to take those faces and realign it to try and match that plane that I had. So now those ones I picked are more vertical than they were before, where they were really curved. We can also go in and insert edges. So if I decide, oh, I wanted to have something else happen here, I can pick maybe this edge and come over. And you can either do single or both sides, and either simple or exact. So if you do simple, you hit OK, it's going to kind of edit it's going to change things in order to accommodate those new surfaces or those new edges being added. If you do exact, now it's going to do subdivisions and things to be able to keep the model looking the same, but having that new edge there. And so that'll add in a lot more divisions that now you can edit. So if you have two surfaces that are there and you want to bring them together, you can do a merge edge or a bridge. So let's say I delete some of these faces. There. So if I went in here and I wanted to merge edges, so I can pick that group there, and say OK, and it does not want to do it. Maybe I have to bridge that. No, that needs to be a merge edge. There we go. It's kind of a weird one since I had the big hole there. Let me see if I can do something a little bit easier. Right there. So it doesn't have that other edge. There you go. So then just kind of, it just bring those two together. I was actually looking to do that. There we go. Now I can say OK, and this is what I was looking to do. So the bridge will reconnect those two like that. The merge actually brings them all the way together. So the bridge adds new faces between them. So you can create cutouts and things like that with that tool. You know, if you also had something, you can go in and do the fill hole and just pick that. And you tell it how you want it to fill. So let's see if I had a bigger hole here. I go to fill hole. I can pick that, and then I can tell it how I want it to try and fill in that missing information. And this crease is, do I want to keep that outside shape after it adds in the new one? So you can see they change kind of how it's going to behave. what that's doing. Oh, if you've got that there, it'll erase that gap between the two things, and then it'll fill it in. I've never used that one. There's the smooth we did. We'll talk about pull later. Flatten, straighten. Straighten just kind of makes it a straight line. So if you've gone through and you've messed up some things like that, you can go to the straighten. And pick those things and have it make that into a straighter line. So now that's a straight line between those points I picked. Okay. We can also thicken things if we needed to. So if you started with just a surface, so if you just did a plane, and then you started editing this plane, you say that this is what you want, but you want it to be a solid object. You go into modify and thicken and pick that, and now you can give it some thickness to it. So that's what that one is. We can also do these other primitives. We can also do extrudes and things. So you could create a sketch. Finish it, and then extrude that sketch. But it's going to do just the outside, so now you'd have to fill the holes. So you do a face. Oh, let's see, 4 sides of that, but I really wanted 5 sides, so undo, do a face, till it 5 sides. But you're limited to the number of faces you do here. And there we go. So now I've got that face there. I could also use the fill hole tool. So fill holes. And just pick that edge and then it fills it in using whichever method. And if I had said not to maintain the crease edges, I'd pick that. Oh, no, it still doesn't do anything. I thought I was gonna to fill in. But now it's here. Now we can kind of go back in and break stuff up. So those are kind of the options we have for working with the surfaces. So that's there. One other tool that we can do is if we wanted to try and model something that was already existing. So let's see, I'm going to look at a car. So if I wanted to do a model of something like this, I could save that image. I'm going to stick it in my pictures. Stick it in there. And now what I can do is I can go into insert canvas. I'm going to insert from my computer. Just grab that car. And then it's going to ask me where to put it. So I'm going to put it on that plane right there. And so now I bring that in. I can have this here. If I click on the canvases, I can right click on this and say go to calibrate, and then I can actually measure it and tell it that I want that to be, I mean, I'm making a toy car, so I want this to be 8 inches. There we go. And it'll resize it, so now that measurement I drew was 8 inches. You can also go in, edit the canvas, and you can rescale it if you needed to again, or you can move it around, or you can change how transparent it is. And just display through means, can you see that through other objects? So you can see right here with display through off, I can't see it right there. Display through on, now I can look through my objects and see that. You can also flip horizontally or vertically. So let's say I have this car here and I want to model kind of some stuff on it. So maybe I'll start with a box. I'll do a 2-point. I'm just going to go from here to here. All right. So this is where I might look at it from just a single view. And now I can add in some lines of symmetry, or not some, but some kind of control points. Let's see, that looks about good. That's probably too many. So maybe there. And I don't need that symmetry, I need that symmetry. And I want it to go symmetric because I want it to go halfway each. And I'll have to kind of figure this out as we go. So I'm going to say OK and click there. And now we can go in to the edit form and start making some changes. So this looks like that's like one big face there. So maybe I'm going to use the bevel edges. Oh, but that only goes to there. So maybe maybe I'm going to delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that. And maybe now, see if we can fill this hole. Oh, there's that edge there. Delete there. Now, fill that hole, maybe. Yeah, see, I start on that big drop off. Kind of made it have a little issue. Oh, there we go. It was kind of filling that in, so now I can go in and fill that hole. And now I'm gonna have to figure that back half out. It's gonna take a little bit more work. Man, maybe I'll just bring that back up. It actually looked okay-ish once I got here. No, so I could grab both those, or I can go to the right view. And if I just kind of grab, so go to select and tell it that I want turn off the component drag. See if I can do that. Now I can do a left to right window and pick only things that are all the way inside, or right to left and pick anything that it touches. So do that. Oh, edit form, there we go. I can pick that face, that edge there, and I can move it around. Come in here, grab that, move it over. Yeah, that's looking much better already. Pull that out. Looks like all this bottom stuff needs to come up a little bit. Pull those up some. bottom edge. Actually, I'll just pull those back down a little bit. You can see just kind of by pulling these, I'm getting to the shape that I want of this car. But it's kind of trying to make this all fit, so maybe I grab both those, pull it over. Just pull all of that over. Pull that over here. And so by doing this, I'm kind of making the shape that I want it to be by adjusting these edges. So maybe I want these to be a little bit further over here. Those to be a little bit further over. And that one just move over a little bit. So you can see as I'm adjusting it, I'm getting more towards that kind of shape. So maybe I picked this edge here and I bring it in some now. And so that's how you'd go about editing the freeform to kind of match a picture. So I'm gonna let you play with that, try it out, see what you can make. Good luck. All right, bye.